Okay, today's topic is string. Okay, today's topic is string class. It is very important class. So most of the times will be used in the real world, in all places. So be careful. And if you have any doubts, just you can ask me that doubt at the same time itself. Okay. Okay. Now start. Here, remove it. So let's create a form. First, what is string? Okay. String is nothing but any sequence of characters. You can say string is nothing but you can call it as a sequence of characters. Sequence of characters is nothing but string. Okay, that must be enclosed in. That must be enclosed within double quotes. So then only Java will treat it as a string. Okay, let's say for example, I'm keeping in the double quotes. I'm keeping anything in the double quotes. Okay, anything. So I can then Java treat this as one string object, one string. Okay. So if you want to create any string object, then create of there is a class called string class is available in java.lang package. Okay, as part of java.lang package, whatever the classes that are available as part of java.lang package, whatever the classes that are available, those are by default available to any java class. Okay, so whatever the classes under that package, let's say for example of string, right? St ring string is equal to new string. Okay, so just assume created. Now under this package there are many there are many, one second, yeah, one second, yeah, let me show you. See, under under java.lang package, there are a lot of classes that are available. See, under this package there are lot of classes. Okay, many classes available. All these classes are we no need to inherit. If you want to use, we can directly use in our program. Okay, so let's say for suppose if you are using of if you are using of any class other than java.lang package, any class other than java.lang package, if we are using, then compulsory we need to use of import statement. We need to use of import statement. Let's say java.io package. Let's take off one class called file. Okay, let's class called file or file leader, whatever it is. Let's say, so in this, if I'm using of creating object for string class, it is not giving of any error, right? So let's say if I'm trying to use of any other package called file, right? File f equal to new file. So compulsory it is asking that the import statement, it is not resolved. So it is not resolved. Compulsory the import statement is mandatory for that. Okay, so if you are not there, then it will not it will compiler will give as error. Okay, this is of some file format. Okay, nothing. Now, so without that compulsory, this only by default java.lang package classes are available to any program without doing any import. If you are using of any other classes, compulsory the import statement is compulsory. Okay. Now let's out of that string is one of the class string buffer and string builder. String buffer and string builder, these classes are available as part of lang package. Okay, to create of any string object. Okay, like this is of one string. Just assume either new string of ibc or we can create. So to create of any string object or to manipulate of any string object. Okay, so Java has provided some classes. So three classes Java has provided to manipulate the string object. The one is string class, other one is string buffer class, other one more is string builder class. Okay, what is the difference between all of these? What is the difference between all these three classes? All these three classes are used to create and manipulate the string class of string objects. Okay, to manipulate strings. Now let's start example of some. Let's create a IBC. IBC. Just assume I created one string object IBC. Okay. Now after that, if I want to modify of the string object, so what is the first point? So to create and manipulate of string objects, to create and manipulate of string, Java has provided three classes. One is string buffer and string builder. So I'm taking a first class string s equal to new string of IBC, just assume. Okay, now I want to manipulate of this string object IBC, I want to manipulate it. Okay, yes dot concat of, there is a method called concat method. Concat means for combining. Okay, for adding. Okay, so concat method will be used to combine of two string object. Okay, okay, now let's add of ABC Techno, some message is added. Okay, so what is the S object actually contained in the time of creation? It is of IBC, it contains. Okay, now if I'm printing of that, what I am doing concatenation, I am doing of on top of this one. Okay, initially the string object is contains only IBC value. Now later what I am doing, I for S dot, okay, concat of techno is also added for the yes object. Okay, now system dot out dot println, now if I'm printing of yes value, what is the value it will display now, guys? Should print of only IBC will print. The reason is we are using of, we are created object for string class. Okay, so string objects are immutable. String objects are it is a string class, right? So I created a string class object. So string class objects are immutable. What is mean by immutable? Means so if you're creating once, if you're creating string class object, we are creating string class object. Okay, so once it is created, we can't modify them. Once we created the string class object, we can't modify this object again. Okay, it is fixed, the meaning. Okay, if we are trying to modify also, okay, if we are trying to modify also, compulsory we need to store that value in the new object. Okay, so let's say for example, yeah, now, so this is already existing object. I'm trying to modify of existing object s dot concat of techno. Okay. So in this case, in this line, what exactly it will create is it is going to create of new object. It is going to create of new object. Let's try to open one paint. Okay. Now let's create of one string class object. Okay. String class. This is of string. Okay. So initially it is of a value, right? Yes. Sorry. Yes equal to IBC. It is of IBC. It contains of the value is IBC value. It is there. Okay. So control. It is of IBC. Okay. A subject contains IBC value. Okay. Now what I am doing in the line number 6, s dot concat of s dot concat of techno. Okay. So for this IBC, techno is also adding. So then what JVM will do is it is going to create of one more object. It is going to create of one more object with value is IBC techno. Okay, it is going to create of IBC. One more object is created, but there is no active reference for that. Just it will create it. Okay, but yes object is pointing to this only. Okay, if you are trying to print off system.out.println of yes, then it will print only IBC. So it is creating object, but that object we are not storing in any of the reference variable. Okay, now if we are if we are adding s equal to s dot concat of techno means, then in that case, what this reference will go, and it will point to this one. Okay, if you are assigning again, it is going to create new object. So the same object I am referring to new one. Now let's try to run it. Yeah, this time it is going to create of IBC Techno. The existing string object is deleting. It is going to, it is there is no active reference for that. Okay, whatever that S reference that is there, it is pointing to new one, because S dot concat of Techno is there. So it is going to, this line is going to whatever the selected part. It is going to create of new object. That object I am reference again to same S variable. That is the reason whatever the IBC reference variable, so that IBC is the right string object. That reference it will delete, and then this S will be pointing to IBC Techno. Okay. So from this you should understood string objects are immutable. Now let's go to, yeah, I created of one string object, yes, that concat of techno, and it is going to print off IBC. Why it is going to print off IBC means, the reason is, so java.lang.string objects are java.lang.string objects are immutable in nature, immutable in Java. Okay, immutable in Java. So that means, what is the meaning of immutable? Means once we create a string object, once you create a string objects, you can't modify them. Okay, it is fixed in nature. Okay, once we created string object, we can't modify them. Okay, whenever you are trying to modify a existing string object, okay, now in the line number 6, what I am doing, yes dot concat of techno, I am trying to modify the string object, existing string s object. Okay, then in that case, it is going to create a new string object. A new string object will be created with modifications. What I'm doing, IBC with s dot concat of, it's going to create one more object with that. Okay, if you are not pointing to that, if you are not pointing to the existing variable again, so then always the string object contains, string s object contains IBC only. With the modification, whatever the object it is created, there is no active reference for that. Okay, now let's go to the next point again. So a new string object will be created with modification. So existing object, whatever that is there, existing object is not at all altered. Existing object will never be modified. Okay, this non-changeable behavior, whatever this non-changeable behavior is nothing but immutability of string. This non-changeable behavior is nothing but immutability of the string. Okay. Now there are other two classes, right? I told you of there are other two classes also, right? Now let's take one more example of for, so, and then we'll see. One second, guys. Someone is lobby. Okay. Now, where is that? Yeah. Now let's take it off. Now let's take it off. Yeah, before going to that string buffer and string builder. So is it clear what is mean by immutable? Immutable is nothing but so once we create an object, okay, if you are trying to modify, that is fixed. Once you create a string object, that is fixed. We can't modify that string object. If you are trying to modify also, it is going to create a new string object. Existing object will never be modified. So this non-changeable behavior is nothing but immutability. Okay, guys, is it clear first what is mean by immutable? So there are a lot of interview questions also on immutable. What is mean by immutable? Okay, can you explain about that? So if you are clear, then I can move to what is mutable behavior. I'll move to mutable behavior. This is immutable. Is it clear, guys, what is mean by immutable? Guys, is it clear or not? Sure, okay. Now, so I'm telling this is of one string object. Is it clear first? This is of one string object. String s equal to string. A string is one predefined class. It is available in java.lang package. If you want, you can go and see of that. The package is lang package. See, package is java.lang package. Okay. So the classes whatever that is present in java.lang package are all are directly it is available to any java program. We no need to import it. Okay, now let's take a example of java dot sorry string class object I have created. What is mean by string itself? What is mean by string means so it is a sequence of characters. String is means sequence of characters. Okay, enclosed within double quotes. It will be in double quotes. Okay, so we'll call that as a string object. Either we can use of new string of within double quotes we can write, or there is one more way of creating string object, that is even this also will call it as a string object. Okay, but there is some difference for creating object for this and the creating object by using new operator, that we'll discuss soon. Okay, but for time being, so I have created a first string class object by using new operator. I created one string object. Okay, new string of ibc. Now, so once object is created, string class object is created, I want to what the system dot out dot println. If I am printing yes means it is going to print off it is going to print off IBC. Okay. What I'm telling, I want to modify the string yes object. Right now it is containing of IBC value. Now I want to change this IBC value to IBC techno. Okay. IBC techno. There is one method in the string class. There is one method in string class called concat method. Concat means combining or adding. Okay. So yes dot concat of dot concat of solutions ibc solutions. Just assume that simple ibc solutions. What I am doing, if I'm trying to modify of this yes object contains ibc, I'm trying to modify that with ibc solutions. Okay, yes dot concat of solutions I'm adding. Now in this case it is going to create of one more object. It is going to create of some different object with ibc solutions. Okay, but for that there is no active reference object. Active reference variable. So solutions, with this it is going to create of a different variable, but there is no but there is no active there is no active reference variable available that pointing to this new object with the new object. So so whatever that yes value is there already, okay, whatever that yes value is already available, it will point to that only. See, already yes is contains IBC. So with this modification, I have created of one more object, but there nothing. There is no variable that is pointing to this object. So that is the reason it is not going to modify of this value is displaying as IBC only. Now now, what I am doing, I am assigning s equal to s dot concat means then in that case, whatever this existing variable, whatever the existing IBC value is pointing to, whatever the existing IBC value is pointing to new one. Okay, just assume this is not there, or else it is a just IBC. Okay, and the object is yes, and it is pointing to and yes. So and it is pointing to this object with IBC value. Okay. Now later in the line number 6, if we are writing like this the code, then it will with the new modification IBC solutions. It is going to create one more object with that new value. Okay, that is fine. But for that, IBC solutions, solutions. Okay, with this new value, object is created, but there is no object reference for this. To how exactly we are going to refer this one? There is no object reference for that. Okay, that is the reason. If you are trying to print off yes, then it is printing off only IBC value instead of IBC solutions. If I want to modify that value, if I'm assigning that new modification object with to some new variable s equal to yes, then in this case, this whatever this reference to s is pointing to IBC. Now the reference of that will be disconnect. Okay, the reference of that will be disconnect, and it will be pointing to, okay, and it will be pointing to the new object IBC solutions. Then this is unused object. Okay, that's what the first string. Okay, so why it is removing of, why it is not changing? Okay, if I are trying to modify of string object, then it is going to create a new string object. This non-changeable behavior, this non-changeable behavior is nothing but immutability. Is it clear? Is it clear, whoever asked the question? Yeah, yeah, thank you. Now, so string is immutable. Now there are other two classes, string buffer and string builder. Okay, those two classes, we'll take one example and then we'll try that also. Now let's comment this part. Now let's create a string buffer. One class is there, one more class, string builder also. Two classes is there. Okay, we'll create object for two and then we'll see. String string buffer. Okay, stri in string buffer SB. Already screen is sharing, right? Sorry, only documentation is visible. You mean no Eclipse is not able to see? Eclipse? Oh, Eclipse you are not able to see. Okay, let me. So this you are not able to see now my screen? Eclipse. Okay, fine. So what I'm doing? So I'm creating a first string buffer object. Now string is over. String buffer object I'm creating SB equal to new string buffer. I'm going to create a object of a string buffer class. Okay, new string buffer. String buffer. Okay, string buffer of IBC. Just some string object. Okay, now, so what I'm doing? So SB dot, okay, system dot out dot println of just printing of SB. Okay, now it is printing the value is IBC. Okay, now in between SB dot, SB dot. So for string class, the concat method is there to append of other strings. In case of string buffer and string builder, we have a method called append. There is a method called append method. Okay, append of techno or whatever that is. Okay, some message techno. This is of string buffer. So I'm what I'm doing now, I'm printing of this value. Now I'm printing of this value. Same way I'll create, same way first I'll do this one. See, now it is. So even before case, it is not compulsory. We are assigning that new object to the some reference variable. But in this case, I have created string buffer object, and that string buffer object dot append of techno. Directly it is appending that IBC and techno both are combining. Okay, directly that string buffer object I am printing. Okay, so the existing object itself, it is modifying. So in this case, there is no need of new object. It is no need to create, it won't create a new object. The existing object itself, it will be altered. Existing objects, it will be existing object itself, it will modify that. This changeable behavior is nothing but mutability. Okay, let's take example of the string buffer also, string builder as well. string builder. There is one more class called string builder equal to new string builder of string builder of give some message techno techno. Okay, now so and so sb1 dot so these two classes contains append method. These two classes contains append method. Okay, now let of techno solutions. Okay, if I'm printing of this system.out.println of sb1, okay, string builder object. Now let's see that whether it will append or not. See, techno solutions, these two are appending, but in this case, compulsory we are assigning that new object it is going to create. It is compulsory we need to act active reference. But in this case, how it will create means now let's yeah. So first, what I'm doing, string buffer object I am creating. Okay, string buffer object I am creating. Okay, so what it contains? The first value is it is of SB. Okay, SB, and it is pointing to this object. Okay, so initially at the time of creation, the value is the value of string buffer object is IBC. Okay, okay, later, what I am doing SB dot append of techno means then what it will do is it is going to create of the same object it will be modified. The same object it will be modified with techno. Same object only it will be modified. It won't create of any new object. That is the reason directly the value of SB is printing IBC techno. Both are having same behavior. Well, even in this case also it is going to create a SB1. Okay, SB1 initially it is of solutions. Okay, initially it is of solutions. Now just assume it is of solutions or techno. ECH techno, and in this line SB1 dot append of solutions. For this existing SB1 variable value techno, the solutions also is going to adding. It is not going to create of any new object. Okay, that's what this changeable behavior. The existing object itself is modifying, right? This changeable behavior is nothing but mutability. Changeable behavior is nothing but mutability. Now let's go and read that sentence. If any doubt is there, we will discuss it again. Okay. Yeah, see that whatever that we have discussed, same here. Now, whereas, okay, whereas Java.lang string buffer and string builder are objects are mutable. How it is going to mutable means you can perform modifications to the existing objects. Okay, we can do any modification any number of times. The existing objects we can modify that. Okay, this changeable behavior is nothing but mutability of string buffer objects, mutability of string buffer objects or string builder objects. Okay, now is it clear what is changeable behavior, what is mutability and immutability? Now the next now we are going for one more example. So there are some extra behaviors, there are some extra things that will have the string class. There are some extra things. What is that means? Now let's say for example of I am going to create a I'm going to create some string objects. I'm going to creating of some string object. Okay, string s equal to IBC, and I'm going to create of one more object with second, yeah, string s1 equal to, again I created same object. So string s equal to new IBC of IBC. The what is the value of s? What is the value of s, guys? IBC. What is the value of s1? Even s1 also is having IBC. Both are having IBC value. If you want print it, but yes, and system dot out println of Yes, 1. Okay. Now both are printing IBC and IBC, right? Now, if I am, if system.out.println of both are printing IBC, IBC, right? Now, yes equal to yes equal to yes 1. What is the value it will return, guys? Just just to think out. What is IBC and what is S contains? IBC, right? This one is also contains IBC. What is the value of this one? Number 10, what it is going to print? IBC. False. Why it will return false? Good. Why it will return false? Yes. Yes. To content checking, this double equal to will check double equal